Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 8 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter percents. The lessons we're going to cover today are compare percents of number, solve percent equation, and percent of change. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I am on grade 8 math. The chapter we are on right now is persons. Let's just start with the lesson that is compare percents of numbers. Which is less 30% of 600 or 80% of 200. So just do calculations. Calculate 30% of 600. You have to multiply 0.3 times 600. That is 180. Then you have 80% of 200. 0.8 times 200. That is 160. So 30% of 600 is 180 and 80% of 200 is 160. So you have to find which is less. That means 80% of 200 is less than 30% of 600. The correct option is option number 1, that is 80% of 200. Let's just start with the test questions. Which is greater? Okay, you are given 30% of 100 and 75% of 40. So calculate 30% of 30. 30% of 30 is, hold on, 30% of 100 is 30 because you have to do 0.3 times 100, right? And the second one is 75% of 40, so you have to do 0.75 times 40. So let me just do the calculations. That is also 30. So which is greater? Neither, they are equal. Option number 1 is the correct option because they are equal. Got it? Okay, the next one is which is greater? 90% of 10 or 30% of 30. 90% of 10 is 9, and 30% of 30 is also 9. So they both are exactly equal, neither they are equal. Which is greater, 80% of 885 or 200% of 372? So let's just do calculations. Okay, so you have to do, so 80% means you have to do 0 0.8 times 885, right? Let's just do calculations. That is 0 0.8 times 885, that is 708, and 200% of 372, that is 744. So which is greater? Obviously 200% of 372 is greater. The correct option is option number 2. 200% of 372 is greater than 80% of 885. Which is less, 120% of 25 or 170% of 20? So 120% of 25 is 30, and 175% of 20 is 35. So which is less? Option number 1, because 120% of 25 is 30. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which is greater, 180% of 10 or 25% of 64? The correct option is 180% of 10 is greater than 25% of 64. Option number 1 is the correct option. Very good. Okay, the next one is which is greater? 200% of 262 or 170% of 290, which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 1, that is 200 of 262 is the greater than 170% of 290. Which is less, 50% of 12 or 10% of 20? The correct option is 10% of 20 is less than 50% of 12. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which is less, 10% of 340 or 25% of 136? Which is the correct option? Hmm, neither they are exactly equal. The correct option is neither they are equal. Which is greater, 140% of 25 and 150% of 22? Which is the correct option? The correct option is 150% of 25 is 22 is greater. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is solve percent equations. Let's just start with the lesson. Nine of 50%, 9 is 50% of what number? You are given 9, right? 9 is the part. You have to calculate the whole number. So you need to form a proportion that would be part divided by whole equals percent divided by 100. You are given the part 9. You need to find the whole number. Like 9 is part of what number? That is n equals 50 over 100. So when you do calculation, 9 is 50% of 80. 18, sorry. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. What 1 is 25% of what number? 1 is 25% of what number? 1 is the part of what number? You have to calculate 1 divided by n equals 25 over 100. So that is 100 times 1 and 25 times n. Divide both sides by 25. That is 4. So 1 is 25% of 4. Okay, the correct option is 4. 24 is what percent of 60, which is the correct option? So that means 24 is what percent of 60? 24 is what percent of 60? You are given the part and the whole. 24 is the part, 60 is the whole. You need to find a percent, right? So P equals 24 times 100 over 60. That is 40. 24 is 40% of 60. The correct option is 40%. Option number 1 is the correct option. 4 is what percent of 40, which is the correct option. 4 is 10% of 40. The correct option is 10%. What is 75% of 84, which is the correct option? 75% of 84. Let's just calculate. So 84 is the whole number. You need to calculate the part, that is 75 over 100. So P is 75 times 84 over 100. 75 times 84 over 100. So 75% of 84 is 63. The correct option is 63. Option number 2 is the correct option. What percent of 28 is 14? Which is the correct option? That is 50%. 50% of 28 equals 14. 100% of 48 is 48. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is percent of change. What is the percent of change from 5 to 8? So, how do you calculate the percent of change? The percent of change is amount of change that is changing from 5 to 8. That means that is increasing. So, 8 minus 5, how much increasing? 3, and 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. You need to calculate percentage. So, that is 60%. The correct option is 60%. What is the percent of change from 5 to 3? That is a decrease. From 5 to 3, 5 minus 3 is 2. And originally that is 5. 2 by 5 it is. So just divide and multiply. So 2 divided by 5 times 100, that is 40. That is a decrease, 40% decrease. It is option number 1 is the correct option. What is the percent of change from 600,000 to 900,000? That is an increase. That is 50% increase. That is 20% increase. Option number 2 is the correct option. Oh, 25% it is. That is from 800,000 to, that is 25% increase. Okay, got it. What is the percent of change from 5,000 to 200? That is the decrease. How much decrease? 90% decrease. 96% decrease. 5,000 minus 2,000 is 4,800, and 4,800 is 0.96. Okay, so that is 96% increase. Decrease, sorry. What is the rate of change from 2000 to 4,000? So that is a decrease, right? 2000 to 4,000. Let's just do calculations. 400 minus 2000 is 1600. That is a decrease. 1600 divided by 2000. That is 80% decrease. The correct option is 80% decrease. What is the percent of change from 500,000 to 700,000? 5 700 minus 500,000 is 200,000. 200,000 divided by 500,000, that is zero point 0.4. That means 40% increase it is. That is an increase. What is the percent of change from 90 to 72? Ninety to 72, that is a degrees. That is 20% degrees. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is the percent of change from 25 to 26? That is 1 divided by 25. That is 4% increase. The correct option is 4% increase. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 8 math. Chapter we were working on is persons, and the lessons we have covered today are, that is, compare percents of numbers, solve percent equations, and percent of change. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can simply click on the light chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write down the questions in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So you can please write down the questions for which you need help. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today.